Can you hear me, ChatGPT?
Absolutely. I'm here to help. Just let me know what you need and I'll be glad to assist.
Okay, today the topic I'm going to discuss with you is discuss understanding the basics of financial independence. Can you please elaborate the topic?
Of course, financial independence essentially means having enough financial resources to cover your living expenses without relying on a traditional paycheck. It usually involves a combination of saving, investing, and managing expenses wisely. The goal is to build enough passive income from investments, rental income, or other sources so that you no longer need to work for money. It's all about achieving financial security and freedom. If you want more details on any specific aspect, just let me know.
Okay, the first question I'm going to discuss with you is what does financial independence really means?
Great question. At its core, financial independence means having enough to cover your living expenses without needing to rely on a traditional job. It's essentially the point at which your investments, savings, or passive income streams are sufficient to maintain your lifestyle indefinitely. It's all about financial freedom and flexibility, allowing you to choose how you spend your time and energy.
Okay, what is it important for people to understand financial independence early in life? Can you please elaborate the topic in detail? Yeah, ChatGPT. Can you hear me?
Absolutely. No worries at all. If you have any more questions or want to dive deeper into any part of financial independence, just let me know. Absolutely. Understanding financial independence early in life is crucial for several reasons. First, it empowers you to make informed financial decisions, helping you avoid debt and build a solid foundation for your future. Second, the earlier you start, the more time your investments have to grow, thanks to the power of compounding. Third, it provides greater freedom and flexibility, allowing you to pursue your passions, switch careers, or even retire early if you choose. Finally, it reduces financial stress, giving you peace of mind and a sense of security. Overall, the earlier you grasp these concepts, the more control you have over your financial future. Sure. One common misconception is that financial independence requires a massive income. In reality, it's more about managing expenses and investing wisely, regardless of how much you earn. Another misconception is that you have to give up all luxuries and live frugally forever. In truth, it's more about finding a balance and making intentional choices that align with your goals. Some also believe that financial independence is only for the wealthy, but in reality, it's achievable for anyone who plans strategically. And finally, many think it's a quick process, but it typically requires patience, discipline, and long-term planning. If you'd like, I can share some real-world examples and case studies to illustrate these points further.
Okay, now the next question is, how can someone assess their current financial situation before starting the journey?
Great question. To get a clear picture of your current financial situation, you can start by taking stock of your income, expenses, assets, and liabilities. First, list all sources of income, whether it's from your job, side hustles, investments, or passive income. Next, track your expenses by categorizing monthly spending from essentials like rent and groceries to discretionary spending. Then calculate your net worth by subtracting your liabilities like debts and loans from your assets, such as savings, investments, and property. Finally, review your financial goals and identify any gaps or areas for improvement. By doing this thorough assessment, you'll have a solid foundation to plan your journey toward financial independence.
Okay, what role does budgeting play in achieving financial independence?
Budgeting plays a pivotal role in achieving financial independence because it helps you gain control over your finances. First, it allows you to track your income and expenses, ensuring that you live within your means. Second, budgeting helps you identify areas where you can cut costs and increase savings, which are essential for building wealth. Third, it keeps you accountable, making it easier to stick to your financial goals and avoid unnecessary debt. Finally, a well-structured budget enables you to allocate more funds toward investments and savings, accelerating your path to financial independence. In short, budgeting is the foundation that supports all your financial goals.
How can someone start saving money effectively even with a limited income?
Starting to save effectively, even with a limited income, is definitely possible with a few key strategies. First, prioritize building an emergency fund so you have a financial cushion. Second, automate your savings by setting up automatic transfers to a savings account, even if it's a small amount each month. Third, cut back on non-essential expenses by identifying areas where you can reduce spending, like dining out or subscription services. Fourth, look for ways to increase your income, such as side gigs or freelance work, even if it's just part-time. Finally, take advantage of any employer-sponsored savings plans like retirement accounts that might offer matching contributions. Over time, these habits will help you build a solid savings foundation.
Okay, what is the difference between saving and investing?
Great question. Saving and investing are both important financial strategies, but they serve different purposes. Saving typically involves putting money aside in low risk, highly liquid accounts like a savings account or a money market fund to cover short term needs or emergencies. The focus is on safety and accessibility, so the money is easy to access when needed. Investing, on the other hand, involves committing money to assets like stocks, bonds, mutual funds, or real estate with the goal of growing wealth over the long term. Investments usually come with a higher level of risk compared to savings, but they also offer the potential for higher returns. Essentially, saving is about preserving capital and liquidity, while investing is about growing wealth over time.
Thank you so very much, ChatGPT. It was a very useful and fruitful conversation from your side. See you soon in the next topic. Till then, goodbye.
You're very welcome. I'm glad I could help. Looking forward to our next conversation. Until